I definitely want to talk about rituals for breakup and divorce because, I find that there's often so much ritualized behaviors and practices around marriage, around engagement, around all the rings and all the things that people do to mark the beginnings. And I find that the endings are often so legalistic or so digitally, cold. And really there is a need to make them much more meaningful. Rituals for breakups for me are so important because they help us understand that while the relationship may be over, we are not over. And I think that that is a super important thing. It's a tough one because, the ritual helps you bring closure. That is an important part of this, but also prepares you for knowing that life goes on and there will be other loves and that you can have faith in them. Everybody understands the ritual of, I talked about the drawer in the beginning. It's like that time when you come and a space has been made for you in someone else's house. My God, how many stories have I not heard about the people who have to remove their things, right? It's like, I made a box for you. Here are all your leftovers. Meet me downstairs. There's the doorman. If it's in New York City, drive by and pick up all your stuff. I mean, the moving of the items, it's not the items, it's and all the people who refuse to come and get their items, it's the parts of us that we bring with us and the parts of us that are still there, or the parts of you that still are in my living room. I don't want to see them anymore. If I remove those objects, then I remove you. That is what this ritual of the stuff stands for. So I love breakup letters. Sometimes you send them, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you send them to other people. But there was a great answer on social. Here are a few actually. You went to places where you got married and you said goodbye to them. You took your favorite drive together for one last time, or maybe alone or together. You planned a trip just by yourself so that you had something to look forward to. One of you said that you watched Meryl Streep movies during your breakup. You had many great post breakup rituals that involved all kinds of expressions of self-care rituals, journaling, taking yourself out on a date, using the space that you once gave to the other person to now turn it into a place where you store your own art materials, etc. But there's one that really stands out, that my colleague and friend Rose in Amsterdam did. And I remember when we had a conversation and I said to her, look, it's about work, it's about distractions, and it's about connections. Those three things will help you in this very painful breakup at this moment. So she went home and she basically created a breakup party, a love and breakup party where the friends came together, because she would have had to go and tell every single one of them who, after this long trip coming back alone, what had happened. And instead she told them all together what had happened to her. And then basically she asked them to help her to talk about the times they were broken up with, they felt rejected, they had affairs, they found out about affairs, they found a new love again, their eyes opened again, and they felt that they had faith in love again and they could reconnect. And then people began to share poems and songs. And basically she felt so affirmed and loved and seen as not just her, rejected self, but as a much broader person that she was. I thought that was masterful, the way she wrote the letter to all her friends, how they all brought music, poems, stories with them, and how to turn an experience that is often so lonely into a collective experience, because who has not experienced some form of breakup? So I can't emphasize it enough, because breakups in particular, we isolate, we hide, we feel ashamed, we feel so sad, we feel so bad about ourselves. And if we can actually make that experience slightly more common and normal, that we all go through it, and then to actually see that we are not just the rejected person in that moment, it changes the entire experience.